Hey, cheese bags, what's up? It's us, the Stoic Rolls. It's Lee, Dave, and me, Aristotle. And today we're talking about all kinds of stuff. It's actually our 10th episode, which is very exciting for us. And Lee, we've got a hurricane coming, and it's got your name on it, actually.
Yep, we're talking about my farts.
We're talking about hurricanes, we're talking about climate change, we're talking about why the hell we can't change or share our password with anybody on like Netflix or any of the streaming services. I also I feel like I have to change my password every 3 days on like every platform. Like every time I try to log into Facebook, I'm like, they're like, "What's your password? Do you remember password?" And I'm like, you know what, Facebook, you're not worth remembering a password for. So I haven't logged into Facebook in like 6 months.
You can just hit that little button that says "Remember Me," right?
What? No. I did not know that.
I don't want a robot to remember me.
I don't. What's it going to remember me by, this robot?
Your beautiful smile.
I think we did that last episode with the Obits.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We did. Boy, oh boy! I'm telling you, I'm still recovering. I was a little under the weather the other day.
Yeah, how are you feeling, Aristotle? I'm worried about you.
R.I.P. RoboCop showing.
Yeah, we all had planned to do a RoboCop viewing for Dave, who's never seen. His virgin eyes have never seen RoboCop, which is just mind-boggling. And I wanted to usher Dave. Me and Lee wanted to usher Dave into the world of RoboCop, but it turned out I was sick, and I was doing that thing where I was like, "I'm not sick," and then Aubrey was like, "You're sick. That's the sound of a sick person." And so I slept for 3 days. Although, Dave, you were kind enough to go on a mission to deliver a donut to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love California donuts?
Ooh, this episode brought to you by
House of Pies and California Donuts.
Yeah. And, they have the one where they just shove a whole Snickers bar into a donut. And then they just put chocolate and a bunch of nuts on top. I thought that would rally you through it, but alas, you were asleep. So
I was sleeping. That would have woken me up, though. You know what, though? It's the thought that counts. I really appreciate that. It was like an hour and a half after that. I looked at my phone because I was completely out.
And to be fair, the donut still existed at that point. But then me and Lee ate it later. So
yeah, we were far too inebriated to bring it. By the time you woke up,
that donut wasn't going anywhere but our bellies. Yep.
Thank you for pouring one donut out for me.
Dave was gonna put it in your mail slot, but
Dave was not. Dave was not going to do that. That was
Dave
something that Lee
do that.
shouted from the car.
I did. I shouted from the car, and then
Dave didn't get out of the car.
Dave was worried that some random neighbor would think that it was just peanutty shit.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to get your mail out and you hit something and there's nuts in it too?
For a second there, I thought you were saying mail slot, MALE, my mail slot, which I was like, hey, hold on a second. That's my mail slot.
You can't be the only.
Donuts
the only person.
There's probably a few bars named that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good name for a bar.
Yeah.
I'm just checking
what are you
the
listening
sound
to?
here.
The ocean?
I'm listening. This is our first live stream. So what I was doing right now, ladies and gentlemen, and Lee and Dave, is I was listening to the mix.
Wait, what?
You're neither ladies nor gentlemen.
We're live. If somebody's watching, how do I sound? Do I look good too?
Sounded pretty good. You look pretty good, Lee. Also, you look pretty good as a hurricane approaching.
Yeah, what's the deal, man?
I'm coming in strong. I heard that I might be the most powerful hurricane on the planet.
What's it like being a hurricane, being the most powerful hurricane? That's crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
Climate change is making you more frequent.
That's it's scary. That's really coming in hard, isn't it? It's a big one.
Yeah, you better watch your mail slots.
Lee is coming
batten down the mail slots
on the East Coast.
It is unfortunate though that we're getting this crazy extreme weather lately.
Yeah,
I don't seem to. That doesn't bode well for humanity. That's what I'm saying.
Well, this is our first daytime episode too, because
Yeah.
if we wait too late in the day, it's going to be scorching here again. So
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do a wake and bake show instead of a bake and bake show in
Yeah.
the afternoon because it'd be too hot. You know what I'm talking about, Lee.
that's
We
pretty
should
good.
do a wake and bake episode though, where we bake some stuff too.
Breakfast
cool.
with the boys.
Yeah,
Or
like a
that.
spiral ham or a cake. I would love.
I don't think any of us are doing any of that. It would be
That's-
fun to watch, though.
We should get a guest to do it. Who wants to bake us some cookies?
Somebody bake or something.
I am concerned about the future of this planet and of our industry, and we're kind of doing this live stream, this podcast. We're taking things into our own hands because of the state of the world and the chaos that's going on. So it feels like, you can't keep folks down who are like want to make stuff and share things and make you happy and bring a smile to your face. So we're gonna figure out how to do that anyway. So watch out.
I like how threatening you were doing.
I'm gonna threaten you with joy
Yeah.
and sunshine.
With a good time.
Yeah, I am threatening you with a good time. That would be a funny
the show.
thing to do. Yeah, good times. Jimmy Walker going around. Hey, I'm threatening you with some dynamite and a good time.
Now that would be a legitimate threat, probably.
It would be.
Apparently-
Like dynamite.
Yeah. Apparently he did not like saying that after
I
the
can see-
show.
I can see why. It's a little bit exploitative to be like
yeah.
a
I say that
catchphrase.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a little audio
Aristotle's
test. You can-
listening to the stocks.
I just want to make sure. Yeah.
The
Oh, everything's
NASDAQ
down.
is up, and now it's down. Buy,
that-
sell, buy, sell.
Sell.
Aristotle's
Sell.
day job of daytime trading.
Oh yeah, we're also at work right now. Our boss doesn't know, but I'm
No.
supposed to be internet stuffing.
Does this
Oh.
count as a work search?
Yeah.
This, yeah, you can
guys got
write
any
this
work?
off technically.
You guys got any work?
I had a job a couple weeks ago.
Are you guys
I took
hiring?
picture. Yeah. I took
You did
pictures
have
of
a
a house.
job. Good for you.
First job in like 4 months. It was
That's
took
amazing.
took pictures of a house. It was a good time. Jimmy Walker was there. He did not say that.
Very threatening.
Yeah, very threatening. But yeah, things are slow. The industry's slow. We work in film and television and commercials and all of the things that are entertaining, I suppose. And right now, our industry is it's a bit like me, under the weather, not fully functional because of. And did you hear about they're authorizing a second strike through SAG for video games? Actually,
Yeah, good.
yeah, they're trying to.
That should be included in on it. I mean,
Fucking
It is.
Grand Theft Auto 5 made $1 billion opening day. I have a feeling the actors and the writers probably didn't see much of that.
Probably not at all. And also, video games are notorious for their voice actors not rehiring them or just like paying them very little, just a day rate to do, an entire video game. Which, who we should have on the show? A friend of mine, Anthony Scordi. He plays Admiral Versio in I think it's Battlefront or one of the Star Wars games, actually.
Oh.
And yeah. Once all this stuff blows over, we should have Anthony Scordi on. He's a friend of mine. It's cool because he did the motion capture, and the performance capture. So it's his face and his voice, and who's playing the character. And he didn't realize how big that was at first. And I was like, Anthony, do you
big.
realize? Do you realize you could be this character for the rest of your life? Like
yeah,
you
you're
could
in
go
Star
to-
Wars universe.
Yeah.
yeah. So he since embraced it. He actually did like a couple of Instagrams with my lightsaber and was like, and then since he sort of announced, he's like, look, I actually am very proud of this role that I had and it was fun. And now a lot of nerds like me and Star Wars buffs have been excited to follow him on Instagram. So follow him on Instagram. He's real fun. But don't support Disney right now. 'cause
No,
Disney
I
sucks.
think it's very important good message to get out there. Support anything independent, because if it comes from a corporation, chances are people are being exploited in the making process. But independent stuff, they're being exploited too.
It's
Yeah.
only,
But it's
there's a
them
chance.
exploiting themselves, most likely.
Yeah.
Spending hundreds of sleepless hours, blood, sweat, and tears on things only for, a small audience. They do it for the love. So support independent games and independent cinema and independent music and Independence Day.
Great movie. It's good though, because in times like this, we are finding ways to do things independently and do things creatively and find workarounds. I know that something like this, having your own podcast, Stoning Rolls, which you could
We're
support
the
at.
first to do that. Did you know that?
We are the first people to have a podcast with three guys talking about stuff. Except we're maybe we're a little bit influenced by other things currently. It could be. And if you're listening, we encourage that you are as well.
Hey, we also have 2 bald white guys on this. That's twice as many on Joe Rogan with half the testosterone.
I'm trying to compensate. I'm growing all my hair out, all my back hair, everything.
We're just less toxic. We're half
Yeah.
as toxic. So that
And
means
twice
we're
as
still
tall.
pretty toxic.
Yeah. Joe Rogan is funny. We're Fro Rogan. No Fro.
Fro Rogan.
Fro Rogan.
Oh my
Yeah, Joe-
God, that's amazing.
Are we doing the next 10 episodes as that podcast? Every
Yeah, we
10
should-
episodes we switch.
We could. We rebrand every 10th episode. Dave, you've been doing some awesome photography in the downtime and in your garage with your workshop.
Yeah, I gotta. I would love to photograph somebody other than myself. If anybody wants,
Hey, yeah.
work's slow right now. Yeah, so I don't know. It's been fun. It's weird when your career is stalled by like something like the strike or like that, and you still kind of try to do your career. It almost feels like you're trying to do a hobby, because most people in like downtime are they like do something else other than their job. They do a hobby or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just like I would rather just be doing my career, even.
Turns out you love your work.
Yeah, you love your work, so you'd rather just continue working.
Or I just haven't found a hobby yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, much like my last thread, you could grow a beard. That's a hobby for your face.
I was thinking about this winter, in the winter months. I mean, right now it would. No.
Too warm. Too warm.
Yeah.
It's not that. Okay, we're going to dispel some beard myths. The beard does not make your face hotter, people. David's a liar.
You
What
must
are you
have
talking
some of that fine hair where the wind can just.
I have
rustle
the
through it.
sweat that beads down from my bald head and nestles in the
cools
whiskers
off
of my
in-
face.
That's happened.
It's your, it's your own
Usually it
hydration
stays
system.
like absorbed in the back hair back here. It's like sponged up. But yeah, I've had like droplets. Droplets collect.
You can't feel the breeze on that skin as much
No.
as you can if you're clean shaven.
That's true.
That's
I don't know about that because
And
I haven't
you-
had a shaved face in a long time.
It's like 1 degree, even that 1 degree difference.
I don't like shaving my face.
I know that's
Although
basically why I have a beard is because I stopped shaving.
It's
Why shave?
Do you get a neck beard?
I grew my neck beard during lockdown. I grew the whole
Yeah.
thing. I just didn't shave at all for about 6 months, and it was. You can go back in the archives of Aristotle Full Throttle and see. You can just watch it grow. If they took a frame a day from each show, from each live stream, it just would.
There you go.
Be like one of those
That's
time
awesome.
lapses. Yeah, have you seen those AI videos that are like that? The AI ones that are like 100 years of fashion, and they like sort of AI
Yeah.
frame to frame, and
Yeah, those more
Those are
pretty
weird,
cool.
man.
they are weird.
I saw an AI short film that was like AI's interpretation of like dystopian future, and it scared me.
I've put in I've just mashed the keyboard in Midjourney to see what it would give me, and it gave me stuff. It would give me like fantastical, just sort of images.
Did it
that
match
were
the vibe of whatever you stomped out?
out of ASDF apostrophe
Yeah.
colon semicolon?
You went home row. Know exactly what to do there.
I QWERTY'd that.
You're just feeding it its own language.
Yeah.
You went home row. I'm using that.
And there's the episode.
That's it. That's
Home row episode.
Never go full home row. All right.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with going full home row. Okay?
Yeah. Like, we
Some of
home
us
row
are only half home row.
Yeah, that's true. You could be as much home row or as little home row.
You can be as
As
much
you need.
ASDEF.
Wherever your fingers or your mail slots are.
ASDEF plus.
Doesn't matter.
Is this Big Bang humor now?
It is. We've been just talking about home rows and mail slots and fingers. And where they should go.
So this is
If and or
how
buts.
it all originated for us. This was like during the pandemic, we all would get high and just FaceTime and laugh and cheer and joy and home row each other all over the place.
It was a lot more like holding our phones out like this, pacing around like
A lot more
I was
white
in my
claws
backyard and
involved.
you couldn't go anywhere, you know. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
look at us, 10 episodes deep.
It's pretty great.
that's all.
We
it
just
took.
wanted to invite you all in on it. It was too much fun. We needed to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turns out
Is
It
there a
still
way?
is.
Can we somehow? We can't do video call-ins, can we?
We can.
we can do
can
video
you?
call-ins.
Oh my
yeah.
god! So
we
people
need
could
to
just
schedule
FaceTime
it
with their
ahead.
phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can
You
do
have to
all of
schedule-
that.
we can't just like take.
Well, we have to
Random
let
ones.
them know to call.
Well, if this
We can
was
actually-
live.
We can actually start a Discord server. I might have started one already. If we do have a Discord server, I'll let you know about it. Oh, you could have access to it if you join the Patreon. See that?
Hey, now see, also, yeah, Patreon, we got one of those.
Stoning Rolls podcast.
That's the
On Patreon.
plug.
The Stoning Rolls.
Or is that the transition into thanking our Patreons?
It is. It's all.
We got to
of the
work
above.
on our live segues.
Transition into thanking the Patreon.
Thank you.
Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Initiate.
Initiate
thanks.
Patreon, thanks.
It was funny that during the lockdown, during our FaceTime sessions and our bowling sessions, as we called it, I remember I was introduced to the concept of White Claw. I didn't know White Claw was widely known. I seemed surprised by the whole thing. Everybody was like, yeah, White Claw, White Claw. I felt like I had been gaslit into like this world where White Claw had always existed and I never knew about it. And suddenly
Thought it was some,
everybody
like,
was
Lord of the Rings thing.
yeah. I was
This
just
is
like
White
so
Claw people speak of.
I was confused. Now, I must ask you, was this a thing? Did White Claw exist prior to 2020? 'Cause
Seltzers, yeah, they had to
Yeah.
have, right?
I don't really remember anything pre-COVID
Yeah,
because
But
I
I
wiped
don't-
a lot of my brain cells out during COVID.
with the White Claw.
With the White Claw.
I just felt so confused by it. I felt like the world had played a trick on me. Has there ever been anything like that for you guys where something had always existed and you just were completely oblivious to it and then suddenly everyone was like, yeah, it felt like the Body
yeah.
Snatchers or something like
This
that.
one time, I found out my entire life was a TV show.
Really? What kind of TV show? Sitcom? Murder
It was
mystery?
this weird reality show where I was the only one who didn't know, and I was on jury duty.
Oh,
He's not-
was
he's
Pauly
not
Shore
supposed to know
there?
about this?
Pauly Shore was there. And he was
for-
raising the juice, and
If-
I was a caveman.
Did he have some sweet nugs with him?
Yeah, with some
Fresh nugs.
grindage. Don't harsh my nugs, gizzard. I don't know how to speak
There,
like
that's a
him.
good shirt. That's a good shirt.
Don't
I'm gonna try
harsh
to do
my
the same.
nugs, gizzard.
Yeah. And then that on the back
There it is.
somehow.
The Wizzo.
We's in the chills. That was popular for some reason.
Was Pauly Shore funny? I mean,
Maybe out here. I don't.
You know what's interesting is one time I went to a stand-up that was like a bunch of comedians, but Pauly Shore was the host. So he was, like the beginning, and then he would come in between, and he was legitimately hilarious. I was shocked by how much I enjoyed Pauly Shore live.
His mom owns the Comedy Store, so his mom is like a big comedy like gatekeeper apparently. But also, I remember being thoroughly entertained by Pauly Shore. If anybody else out there was, Dave, were you? I never saw Encino Man.
Yeah, Encino Man and Biodome, I think, were the two biggest.
Great. We'll do a watch along. We should do a marathon.
Yes.
A Twitch stream, Pauly Shore marathon, and we can get Pauly Shore to call in at some point.
I think
I
that's a great
guarantee
idea.
you I could get a hold of that guy somehow.
Some
I'll just find his house.
Some friends of mine, we once tried to do a Ernest marathon. I think I made it. I made it 1.5 in. I think.
Here's an idea. You guys ready for a Halloween pitch? We do a live watching of Ernest Scared Stupid, and then we do a seance afterwards where we ask Ernest about what it was like shooting that movie.
Right. And if Vern is a real person, you know what I mean? Vern?
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Beyond the Grave.
That was I don't even know. Did you do that impression on purpose? Because it was brilliant.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just remember him doing those, like, didn't he have a show Saturday mornings? That actor who played Ernest, he'd always, like, look at the camera and be like, you know what I mean, Vern? And he'd do commercials.
That is Ernest.
Yeah. And he would always talk to the camera.
Yeah,
but
he did like
was talking,
commercials.
He was talking to his friend
I'm
Vern.
sure.
And then he would also go,
Oh,
yeah, he had a great face. He had a great
things
face.
he's known for.
The Ernest series was so strange. Like, how did the character Ernest become this like pop culture phenomenon?
I don't know. I mean,
That's a different podcast.
You got to think about. See, as a kid, I was always looking at that guy. He's like, that guy's a character, and I would just kind of go with it. But in reality, you got to go. That guy was one heck of a performer. If he could sort of captivate children, people of all ages,
and play a Slinky Dog in Toy Story. Come on.
Well, that's right.
You know what's crazy? Okay,
Jim Varney, right?
Jim Varney, that's it.
Yeah.
Jim Varney. You'll never get this out of your head because someone pointed it out and now I can't unhear it. Dave, you're more likely to be in this scenario than Aristotle at this point. After Jim Varney died, the actor who took over in Toy Story for the Slinky Dog is the dad from Boy Meets World, and he's barely changing his voice. You listen to it, and you're like, whoa, oh, shit, that's the dad from Boy Meets World.
What?
Yeah.
That's shocking. I have a weird Boy Meets World story.
Oh, go on. Now
these are the segues we need,
now
guys.
We got people interested.
All right,
We're talking
3,
Boy Meets
2,
World.
So this is weird because so I guess when I was a kid, my girlfriend, she really liked Boy Meets World and she would watch it all the time. I'd be like, turn this show off. I hate this show, whatever. And then my girlfriend would be like, I like the kid next door. He's a cute kid. The kid next door who was like the heartthrob kid on the show.
The guy
Then
from
you
Cabin
fast-
Fever?
I'm not sure, but here's what happened. I would go over to my friend's house, my friend Mike Dirksen and my friend John Poulos, and we'd all go to our friend's house, Ryder and Shiloh, and then we'd play like we would play like Settlers of Catan, or we'd hang out.
Ryder Strong, right?
And we would go to the movies for years, and we would all hang out together for a couple of years. And then one time I was editing one of my episodes of my show, and I was like Googling Boy Meets World, and Ryder and Alex, his wife, are standing in this red carpet with Getty Images, and I'm like, what is Ryder doing on the red carpet? And I'm like scrolling through everything, and I'm like, I know Ryder and Shiloh, they work on Girl Meets World, this like direct, and it like didn't occur to me for about 2 years that I was hanging out with Ryder Strong and Shiloh Strong from Boy Meets World. And it's just, hey, shout out Ryder and Shiloh. They're good writers, they're good directors.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
but
so cool.
They did work for Disney, so
Hey, Paulie, we've conquered the depths of the abyss, journeyed to alien worlds, and even sailed the Titanic. But you know what's missing?
Today, buddy, we're going to discuss grindage.
Introducing Biodome Trichome, the ultimate highest tech sanctuary for you and your buds.
You're probably used to eating twigs, right?
It's BioloCameron approved. It will get you high when you're down in the Mariana Trenches. And don't forget about our Avatar Oregano cookies,
Vegetable group.
where you'll feel truly connected to your own inner Awa. And, Polly, everyone needs some blockbuster romance. So we present Titanic Tokes, where even Jack and Rose would get high on love.
You hide these under your pillow, bro, so your mom doesn't find them. If she does, you're twigged, buddy.
That's right, Polly. So, whether you're an aliens connoisseur or a son and dog, come join us in this cinematic weed venture, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
And check out our brand new strain, Fraser Hayes.
I'll be back.
Disney has always been terrible. I'm glad that it's coming out. I remember when I was a teenager, I met Betsy Randall, who plays the mother on Boy Meets World. And even then, it's weird how many connections
I don't have
World.
any. I watched the show. Does that count?
That is a connection, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most important connection, Dave. Don't ever lose that. No, I was talking to Betsy Randall, and she was telling me that she didn't get residuals at all because it was Disney Channel. And I guess Disney has had this thing for decades where if you're doing a Disney original show for even the TV shows, there were no residuals. Imagine not getting any residuals on Boy Meets World. Like,
wow.
that is insane.
Well, I heard that this is quickly becoming the I Heard podcast.
You heard a podcast?
No fact checks.
This comes from We Study Trust Me Broology.
Yeah, we scroll a lot of TikTok. They have to the actors in these Disney shows. I believe it was Disney, might have been Nickelodeon, probably Disney. They get a certain amount of their wage for the first 3 years, and then after the third year, they get an increase or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to get around that, they would just rename the show. Like, shows usually only lasted 3 seasons, so they would add something to it, like Hawaii Living or something, after the original title. So it's the same show, but it's different, and then they can go back to a new contract where you only get a percentage of your entire wage.
It's interesting that you mention that because Netflix does a thing that's very much like that, and it started, I believe, with Sabrina. Fuck Netflix, man. This is such bullshit, dude.
Yeah, can't even share your password anymore. I can't even log into my own Netflix right now.
You have a problem with passwords that is beyond anything that we know.
You might need to see a specialist.
I feel like
I can't remember one
thing.
Why do you have to remember a password? I don't
I put
just
it in.
smash the keyboard on the home row.
Netflix does this thing, and it started with Sabrina. Have you noticed that they'll do chapters now instead of seasons? Because contractually with new seasons, they have to pay you more. But what they'll do is they'll just shoot a new chapter. So it's season 1, chapter 2. Technically, it's not a new season. We don't have to raise your pay.
Wow.
Well, that's terrible.
Like, how fucking
all these streaming services
break something.
are the Donald Trumps of streaming. They find these loopholes.
Yeah.
That, I mean, who's got to close? Then we got to spend all this time closing these loopholes, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're striking over. Fucking HBO, Max, the place to go for HBO. That was one of the reasons they changed to get around
from
renewing the contracts. And
HBO.
They listed all of their fucking directors, writers, producers as creators in one lump thing. So they don't have to pay them as directors, producers, or writers because they're creators. Those motherfuckers. And then that fucking CEO. Oh, I'm starting to get so mad. That CEO
fire him up.
just gave himself an $11 million raise when their company is about to lose $500 million due to the strike. And all of the writers were asking for a collective $47 million. This is no longer about like money or anything. It's a fucking power move. And it's time. I know we joked about the guillotines a couple episodes ago, but I feel like it's time to start like looking up blueprints.
Yeah. Well, the modern guillotine, in my opinion, is the internet. We can like draw people, quarter them, put them out in the public square, and shame them on the internet if we can, if we must,
and we can live stream the guillotine.
Yeah, actual guillotine beheadings. But that's the thing. I think it's kind of innate in humans to want to like publicly show, like, you know, the reign of terror, where they brought people out into the public square and killed them. Like, that's
I think if you
modern version.
cause that much harm to that many people, even though it doesn't seem like they're causing harm because it's not like a direct like I'm hurting you, but their actions are causing harm all over this world. I think that the punishment for that should be the entire world being able to get retribution.
Right.
It's a theoretical death by 1,000 cuts. You know what I'm saying?
There's only like 5 people in this world who have all of the money. And we need to spread out the money and have people who do things other than just acquire money. Allow them to live and thrive and do things that they do.
That is a weird job to have. It's just acquiring money.
That's all their job is.
Yeah.
Our species is stupid. We've done a lot of brilliant things. Don't get me wrong. I don't want someone in the comments going, blah, 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 what about the blah, 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 blah. No, we've done a lot of great things. We've done a lot of terrible things. But our species is stupid because we literally invented money and then put ourselves in this spot.
We did.
Money's fake. It's not a real thing. We just said it is.
Well, I always say this, for intelligence to be the defining aspect of our species, people sure is dumb.
Speaking of people sure is dumb, Donald Trump is currently tied with Joe Biden in the polls for the next election.
I'm starting to get worried.
Does this country just have a fucking fishbowl brain? What the fuck is wrong with us? I don't think you're allowed to curse on Twitch, but I'm fucking riled up.
We're doing it.
I just had my morning coffee and I haven't had my morning dump, so I am fully loaded.
He's filled with coffee and poop. He's about to explode.
He's getting higher and higher in the frame.
All over the screen.
I'm gone. I can't stop it.
He fires himself through the roof.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
We've definitely covered this.
There have been many a poop rising
10 episodes. Now everything just repeats.
But that's the thing. I think that it's really important for creators, and I'm going to reiterate, to make stuff, because I think we might end up succumbing to this horrible corporate greed, or we can fight it by making things anyways. and having an independent like revolution, because I think in the 90s there was like that independent revolution. Independent filmmaking was on the come up, and the studios, it sort of like leveled the playing field somewhat, and now I think we can really come back at it. I know that a lot of these platforms like TikTok and YouTube, what's up YouTube and Twitch, but they do allow people, independent creators, to get out there. However, it's still skewed toward people who have money and can promote their things with money. And I find it's very hard.
I'm off TikTok now. I'm tired of every scroll is a fucking sponsored TikTok shop thing. The whole thing is just there's nothing fun about it anymore. But back to your point, though, like when you're creating your art, I'm going to get a little headsy high here. When you're creating your art from like your passion and shit, you're not doing it for the money. You can usually, like, a better product comes out of it.
Yes. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. It may not be as much of a conventional product, but it will be a better product.
Case in point, maybe a terrible example.
I like that.
Star Wars, 20th Century Fox produced that, and George Lucas had to like really, really fight with the studio on that. This is when George Lucas was great. And he had to really fight the studio on the original Star Wars 1977 with a lot of the things he wanted to do. So for The Empire Strikes Back, he funded it himself after making all of the money. So technically, The Empire Strikes Back, aka Blue Harvest, is an independent film, an independently produced film that was made by the filmmakers. There weren't any major studios with like corporate interests involved in The Empire Strikes Back, and that's why, in my opinion, it is the best Star Wars movie.
But then
so good.
what about Return of Jedi? Was that studio funded then?
I think by then it was Lucasfilm.
And Lucasfilm was like, we're corporate. We need Ewoks.
And
Oh, interesting.
one of the main motivations for Return of the Jedi was to sell toys, though, because they had realized the boon.
Yeah.
George Lucas was like, wait, I could sell toys? And
Yeah.
actually, he like planned that pretty much for Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
And made that movie specifically to sell toys. So then that's when the cancer got to George Lucas and started eating his
money.
soul.
But then there's like creators like, speaking of Star Wars, Phil Tippett, who's like a stop motion god who worked on all the Star Wars movies. He made Mad God. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's a stop motion movie made 100% independently that took him 30 years
Wow.
to make.
That's insane.
But like that was his like babies. Like, this is my art piece. Fuck everybody else. I'll know when it's done. It took him and his team 30 years to create this movie.
Well, I can't wait to watch it. Phil Tippett is great. He is one of those characters who's just so ornery and grumpy all the time, but I imagine you'd have to have the patience that man has.
Oh, I dream of being as cool as Phil Tippett every day. I wake up and be like, is it a Tippett day?
Damn it.
Damn it.
Just an incredible pioneer of filmmaking. Incredible.
Maybe that's where I'm going wrong, is I haven't pioneered much lately.
All you've done is turn into a hurricane.
What
It's
is
going to be
the-
dangerous. Get out because I'm coming hard.
He's filled with poop and coffee. He's gonna.
It's not the kind of hurricane you think, guys.
That eye of the storm is not
It's not an eye. I'll
not,
tell
not
you
one of the
that.
seeing eyes.
Right. Well, remember the band Alt J?
Yeah.
Band Alt
Yeah.
J. If you type in Alt J on your keyboard, it makes a little triangle. So that's actually their name. Their name is that triangle. But
But
also,
they couldn't figure out what to
triangle?
call themselves.
but they couldn't figure out what they call themselves. But also, now you're never going to unhear this. Adam Sandler is the singer for Alt J.
You know what? Someone pointed that out to me once, and it's so true.
Wait,
Just listen.
come on.
I'm
Well-
going to play it as much of a
Play
clip
it.
as I can.
Pakistan's or do you ever send out full stop? Do you know where the muffins go?
Yeah.
That is Adam Sandler. See, he's an
Sloppy Joe.
slap at Joel. I can't do it. My voice is too
Adam
wobbly.
Sandler's amazing. He created an entire career off of,
And then shouting, "Shut up!"
but then also apparently being like one of the greatest people on earth, like personally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've heard he's
shout
super
out
nice.
to. See, this is what we're talking about, though. May not be
Yeah.
a conventional product, but the product will be better because it's coming from the heart. Just like this little voice is coming from Adam Sandler's heart.
He was actually. It was funny. I was going to see. What was I seeing? Maybe Warhorse at the Pantages, and he was. I was standing behind a guy wearing a giant poofy jacket with like two little kids, and I imagine their spouse standing next to them, and I was like standing there waiting to. There's a water fountain, and I was waiting to get some water, and then he turned, and I saw that it was Adam Sandler, and he's like, "Oh, there's a guy waiting. Let's go. Let's hurry up." And so he was nice enough to get the hell out of my way, so I could
Wow.
get some water. But yeah, that's
That
the
must have
time I
been
ran
like
into.
watching Big Daddy in real life.
It really was, except for two kids this time. Oh,
It was
I
the
guess Big
sequel,
Daddy.
Big Daddies.
Big Daddies. But yeah, Adam Sandler here, he treats people good. He brings people back. He just makes movies with his friends. That's what
Yeah.
we do. Actually, so
He's
it's a good
basically
model.
the only reason that fucking anti-trans moron Rob Schneider has any kind of career, but I doubt that'll happen
I
anytime
didn't know that.
soon. Yeah. Rob Schneider's a moron who has been riding the coattails of Adam Sandler for the past 40 years and decided,
really is.
I'm going to be relevant by punching down on the trans community for my stand-up so that
Neat.
right-wing idiots will give me their money.
The only thing that Rob Schneider has created that was any good is Elle King, his daughter, who's a singer. Actually, do you know Elle King?
I didn't know that was Rob Schneider's daughter.
Yes, that's the only thing he's produced that's good. Personally, but yeah, Rob Schneider's one of those guys that the phenomenon is he's rich, he's famous. He kind of had a couple iconic characters on SNL, and then and now he thinks he's smart because of that, which is a dangerous
I think he just
combination.
probably needs money.
Has anyone watched Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo recently? It's not a very good movie.
I didn't
To
watch
be
it
fair,
then.
a lot
I
of
didn't
those,
watch it now.
Yeah, a lot
And-
of those SNL movies.
Someone also needs to tell him the only good part of the hot chick was Rachel McAdams.
She's
She's
incredible.
great in that movie. She's incredible. She's an amazing actress. That poor woman had to work with a fucking moron.
Yeah. She's an incredible Canadian, secret Canadian, Rachel McAdams, also in the Doctor Strange movie that just came out.
She's secretly Canadian in that?
She's a secret
That would make a
Canadian
good
along with
show.
Ryan Gosling.
Canadian.
They're both in The Notebook, being all secretly Canadian.
He is very openly Canadian
Yeah, that's true. We found out at a very young age.
because he was in the Young Hercules, and I didn't know Hercules said a boot and Suri.
The young Hercules. That reminds me also, shout out Brian Thompson. We should get Brian Thompson. I think he was on a few episodes of that. Yeah.
And shout, kick out Kevin
kick
Sorbo.
outs.
No,
Yeah.
it's Kevin
Well,
Sorbo.
shout out Brian, kick out Kevin.
This is our segment, shout-outs and kickouts.
Yeah.
For
I have
every
a
shout
really
out.
fucked up story about Kevin Sorbo. Should I just say it?
Yes, because we're burning bridges here on Sunday
I mean,
Rolls.
it's not like it's more. It's like he didn't do anything like harmful, but he really gave me the creep factor. It goes back to when I was my old story about Scott Baio and driving actors. I drove Sorbs
related.
for a little bit,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
he was telling me he had just had his baby daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me the miracle of, having a child. And obviously, yeah, it is. Like, I can only imagine having
It's
a child.
incredible.
And he was telling me
Life.
about changing his daughter's diaper for the first time, which I'm like, okay, that's weird to talk to a stranger about. But sure, you've never changed a diaper. It's got to be a weird sensation changing your daughter's diaper for the first time. And he's like, I'm changing it. And at this one point, I look down and think, someday, someone's going to f*** that.
He's telling you this?
He was telling me that. That's how Kevin Sorbo's fucking mind operates. He's fucking gross.
His mind does not operate well, is what you're telling
Wow.
us. What a horrible human being.
How is that?
What just a
What?
That's
That's
not
the
even like
weirdest thought to have.
Yeah.
That's
And every
the-
time I see a dumbass fucking tweet from him being like anti-trans or racist or fucking, just like stupid, idiot, moronic shit, I want
Yeah.
to be like, remember that time you thought about people? And I'm not even going to say.
This
oh my
episode
God.
brought to you by the Dunning-Kruger effect. People who are so dumb, they don't know how dumb they are, so they think they're
Yeah.
smart. That's
And
Kevin
now,
Sorbo.
okay, I was thinking about the Dunning-Kruger effect, and who's really suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Everyone else.
Well, yeah.
No. Think about this. This
not
is
the
some
stupid
Socrates,
person.
Aristotle type shit.
Yeah. Not me. I'm just
Who really
morning
has
wake
the-
and bake.
Who really has the Dunning-Kruger? Is it the people who are too dumb to know how fucking dumb they are? Or is
Yeah.
it the people who try to tell those people the truth, thinking that they'll be able to break through to this dumbass fucking moron?
There's no
Won't happen.
winners. That's the
Yeah, everyone
beauty of it.
loses.
Everything's awful. Yeah.
I've got a story about Kevin Sorbo. I don't have a direct. There was
I
this
love
guy
it.
named Frank back on Long Island, back in the day when I used to live on Long Island. There's a guy named Frank, and Frank one time was at a bar that Kevin Sorbo was also at. I speculate that was the extent of it. However, Frank, every time he mentioned the story, would embellish further and further and create more of a relationship that he had with Kevin Sorbo at that bar. Because, like, literally any conversation, he'd be like, yeah, that time that Kevin was talking to me, Kevin Sorbo. And we're like, Frank,
Yikes.
you don't know Kevin Sorbo. You were at a bar with him one time. For some reason, this is the
got that
greatest
effect.
thing that ever happened to you, and you need to share it during every conversation. So that just became a weird meme among our friends that Frank is going to mention Kevin Sorbo. Just don't say anything about it.
Dude, yeah, I remember on those westerns we did with him, Dave. I would wire him, and he would be talking about the Obama birther movement. Like, speaking of horrible people, remember when we were making that movie on Halloween, and you were dressed as Axl Rose, Dave, and Jennifer Esposito really fucking hated the fact that the person slating in front of her was dressed like Axl Rose.
She hated that.
Should we find that photo? It was so good.
so
Somebody got the
That sounds
best
cool.
photo
Got
of
it
me
in
sticking a
pictures.
slate right there, and I had this long blonde hair and a big leather
Bandana?
jacket and a bandana, purple bandana.
It's great.
That's amazing.
She hated it so much. She's
you
a
slate like
terrible
this?
person.
I was walking around a lot like that.
You like
Pretty
get
much
out of
anywhere I
there?
went on stage, yeah.
He also had spandex and cowboy boots
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You had to complete the look, yeah.
with chaps and what was there? Why was there was a time in like hair metal and Guns N' Roses and stuff where like sexualized cowboy wear was like a big thing. What? What
Yeah,
was
that
that
was-
all about?
It was just a liberation. It
You
was
had to be
about
free from the back of your pants, I guess, yeah.
yeah.
So you could get to your mail slot easily.
I was waiting for it. I always think about that in rock and roll and like fashion statements. Like Rob Halford is like the fundamental originator for everything that looks metal and looks awesome. And the unfortunate thing is like Rob Halford left Judas Priest originally because he thought, and this is the beauty of being a metal fan myself and being amongst the heavy metal fans, we don't give a crap about anything about like someone's sexuality or whatever. Like we embrace and love rock and roll in every form that it comes in. And Rob Halford is a rock god. And he left Judas Priest originally because he thought that the audience wouldn't accept that he was gay and he'd come out as gay, which, by the way, that's the movie Rockstar. It's based on that story with Mark Wahlberg becoming, because what Judas Priest replaced their singer with a tribute band singer for Judas Priest for like 5 or 6 years. And then everybody was like, but we all love Rob Halford as well. So like, and then Rob Halford came back. He still sings for Judas Priest to this day. But again, the beauty of, say, the arts and music is there's no real Kevin Sorbos in that kind of crowd. We don't have any like hatred toward.
They're weeded out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can't hang if you're going to be hateful. If Rob Halford is like one of the greatest metal singers of all time, that's all we care about.
We tell them, you know what? You go hang out with the pop country crowd.
Exactly. If you're going to be hateful.
Damn, that is where we put them. That's like
Yeah.
that's like our Australia.
Yeah.
Australia? I'm sorry,
Well-
Australia. Dave didn't mean it. He's kind of right. He's kind of right.
Historically speaking, not
Yeah. The musical
Currently.
Australia,
yeah.
where we put all of our
With the big hit called Oh No.
Arner. I was trying to learn how to say that. I still don't know if I could do it. Arner.
Well, this helped me a lot. I saw a meme that was a map of Norway, and the caption was, what Australians say when they don't believe something.
What is that?
Norway.
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 Dang, that works.
It works way too well.
There's way too much Bluey being played inside the house for me to make fun of Australia. Seriously.
What's Bluey?
Oh, come on. It's actually a really good kid show.
Here's
She's
Aubrey
Kiwi.
just sent us the Arner in Australia, and if we can, let's hear for the song.
No, I can't send it to you, you rot
no.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh, there it is. She was trying to teach me how to do it. I can't do the Australian but there's a perfect example. There's a lot of secret Australians too out there, folks.
Yeah.
And Kiwis.
Half of the Marvel cast, I feel like.
Yep. And Kiwis.
Secret Australians.
I used to hang in the Kiwi circles here in LA, and they all know each other. There's about 12 and a half of them, and they all know each other, and it's very strange. Like
Reese Darby's their ringleader.
I met him. He was like, you like seriously. You go to the Kiwi meetup. There's one a month, and there's 14 people in a room, and that's every Kiwi you can imagine.
That's
and
like an episode of Flight of the Conchords.
It's basically Flight of the Conchords.
Do they do roll call?
And a Taika Waititi movie. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my God, that's amazing.
It was pretty cool. It was like also Serge Tankian from System of a Down was there at one of them because
is he a Kiwi?
He lives in Kiwi land now. But he used to live like 5 blocks that way because I'm right here in Little Armenia in Los Angeles, basically, and that's where System of a Down is technically from. So Glendale, Little Armenia.
I did not know that. I didn't know they were from Glendale. I didn't know they were a local band. That's awesome.
Local LA
System of
band.
Down.
Yeah, for sure. But Serge Tankian is a big conservationist and a Kiwi now, I guess. Here's a fun thing about Serge Tankian. He wasn't a singer before he joined the band. He was an activist. He just was out there like, you're killing people, you're killing the planet, yelling at people.
Such a beautiful voice when he was yelling at his protests.
He must have, because then he was like, I guess I'll join this band and become a singer and sing about stuff that is important.
Dude, he's got an amazing voice.
He does, yeah. So he's an artist. He was an artist and an activist.
I hate that. Dave, don't you hate that? When people just naturally can like sing really well, or
I'm annoyed at either way if it's good or not.
They can't.
I don't know. People start singing in public or something. I'm just like, I don't.
I mean, this is great. I'm glad that we're able to do a live stream and connect directly. So that means y'all can like turn on the notifications on Twitch and stuff, and have a jolly old time along with us live when we do this. We'll just have to pick, I guess, a regularly scheduled live stream. But this will also be uploaded on the channel this Saturday as a podcast, and you'll get it on Spotify. Now. Yeah, and you'll watch it now. It'll be up on Twitch a couple days early, which is like a nice little sneak preview, I guess, if anyone finds it. Good stuff. But I think we definitely got to do something about these hurricanes that are becoming more frequently.
Are you stalling so you can? Are you figuring out how to play the outro music?
Are you trying to? Are you gonna?
Can we do that?
Oh God! I'm losing it. The Patreon shout out.
I'm logging in. Hold on.
While Aristotle's logging
Stretch.
in, I want to congratulate both of you and myself. Our latest short film has been accepted into Film Quest Film Festival 2023, baby.
Amazing.
One of the largest genre festivals in the world.
Foghorn.
Oh, I thought you were reading off names of Patreon.
So if you're in Los Angeles in October 9th through the 19th, where our film will be playing at Screamfest Horror Film Festival, and then October, I believe, 24th through the 4th, or 26th through the November 4th, we will be in Utah.
And Judy.
Film Quest.
Really
Judella. Judy.
Judy. Shout out Judy.
Judella.
Shout out Sandra. And yes, we're excited to go to Utah. I think we've done it. We've covered every base. Thank you guys out there. Please subscribe to our Patreons. Hang out with us on this podcast live stream every week. We'll figure it out, and you'll be here with us. Yeah. But every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can listen to this on YouTube and on Spotify and on all the different platforms. You can follow us. We'll see you guys
everybody.
next time.
Oh God! But do I push something?